Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs, and he's been very helpful in getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no games with Brian. He's just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up that number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or visit his website, ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com, and make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. As you may know from past episodes of this program, Matt Nagy and I don't always see eye to eye. That'd be an understatement, really. We never agreed on the way to treat Mitch Trubisky, on the way to treat this whole quarterback competition from last year. We didn't agree on the run game. Matt Nagy was not a guy who prioritized running the football. Took him till midway last season to realize, maybe I should do it. I didn't like his coaching style. Too stubborn. Found it hard to admit he was wrong. Hell, he lied to all of us about play calling. Remember? Remember when he said, I'm giving up play calling, then at the end of the year, actually, I did it. Should have been more of a story, and it wasn't. Guaranteed, if that happened under John Fox, Mark Trestman, Lovie Smith, there would have been a bigger deal made about that lie. Nevertheless, despite all these mistakes and all these issues I've had with Matt Nagy, for once, he's made a good decision. And I know it's shocking for me to say that. Really shocking. I mean, I'm eating my words here. Really. The fact that he's actually doing something that benefits this team, isn't selfish, and isn't resulting in sabotage. But he is. I don't know what the motivation is. My guess is keeping his job. But so far it's working. Matt Nagy came out a couple of days ago now, talked to Chris Collinsworth about the quarterback competition, said, quote, Andy is our starter, and again, I can't predict anything. You know how it goes. There's so many things that could happen between today and week 1, but Andy is our starter, and Justin is our number 2, and we're going to stick with that plan. You always hope that nothing happens to Andy as far as injuries or anything like that, and that's why I can't say 100%. Andy is where we want him to be. He's at a great OTA, and we're just going to continue to build with that. Wow. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that nothing's changed. Not yet. Now, between June and September, something could. I could see that quote becoming the complete opposite in about 50 days. But right now, to his credit, Matt Nagy is staying firm. Certainly didn't expect that. I was waiting for the day in which he'd say Fields will start game 1. Just to make myself crystal clear to everybody watching, I want Fields to play this year. Really, I do. Not week 1 against the Rams, primetime in LA on NBC. No. Nope. Not going to work. Week 4, they face the Lions. Perfect time to put him in the game. But he has to succeed in those big moments. He can by learning. I didn't see Pat Mahomes play all year in 2017. No. He played the last game. That was meaningless. Didn't do that good. Then turned around the next year and won the MVP. You can't be desperate as fans. Everybody is clamoring. Fans, even some writers, are clamoring for Fields to come in, but experts are saying otherwise. Matt Nagy, quote unquote, has a plan. Well, why not listen to it? Why not give him a chance? Yes, he's made mistakes in the past, the ones I just outlined for you a few minutes ago. This is different, though. This is his quarterback, and his job is on the line here. Motivation. He was given a second chance. Ownership probably told him, well, here's your quarterback, Matt. If you screw up this time, you're done. There is motivation to get this right. There's an incentive to get this right. Should he have gotten it right before? Yes, but it's over. Let's move on. It's his own quarterback, and he's been given another chance to save his job. I'm going to trust him here for now. Could that change? Yes. Like he said, anything could change. But right now, I feel like it's not a bad idea to trust this plan. Saw an article today saying Andy Dalton threw a great deep ball at OTAs. Look, you could say what you want about Andy Dalton. He is the perfect bridge quarterback. Not going to win you a playoff game, not going to even get you to the playoffs. But if you're trying to develop Fields, get him used to the NFL, have him learn the ins and outs of the system, have him polish himself up to be ready for the pace of play at the NFL, that's the perfect guy to have in front of him. Veteran, established, been around a long time, Pro Bowler, playoff appearances. Let him play. And if I were Matt Nagy, that's the way I would do this. Think about it this way. Last year for the Chargers, they began with Tyrod Taylor. After a week, Herbert came in. Now, the Chargers didn't do well. Didn't make the playoffs. Anthony Lynn on the hot seat, but they have their franchise quarterback. They didn't rush him. He came in because of an injury. Did well, better than anybody expected. Now look, they have a franchise guy. Fan base is happy. This upcoming season, they better be a playoff team. Simple as that. The Bears have the opportunity to do something similar here. You wait. Let Andy Dalton play the majority of the games, half the games. Have Fields play, have this team go 7-10, 6-11. Who cares? The year after, though, you know Fields is your guy. You're expecting big things out of him. He'll start game one, and the season should go well. Playoff well. Super Bowl well. That type of caliber. This really isn't hard. It's not difficult, complicated rocket science. It isn't. The people who are making it complicated are the fans who are clamoring, and media who are clamoring for Fields to be rushed in. For those who say you can't coddle him. Those are the types of people who don't want this to work, realistically. Some of you said, I don't want this to work. No. That's not true. The people who want him to come in week one and essentially just risk everything, those are the people who don't want it to work. Those are the people being selfish and asking for instant gratification when we all know what the right thing to do is. Again, this is not complicated. It's being made complicated by people who don't have the Bears' best interests in mind. Every expert, every coach knows what the right move is. If we hear media and fans say something completely different. If you truly love the Bears, if you truly believe in Justin Fields, you'd wait to play him. It's really that simple. You're being selfish. You want instant gratification when there's no need for it. Before Fields was picked, everybody was convinced this will be a throwaway year. Why have those expectations changed when Fields needs time to develop? You drafted a talented quarterback. You didn't go out and sign Tom Brady. If they signed Tom Brady, I'd say yes. 11-5, 11-6, have to make the playoffs. No, not now, though. This is a rookie. I know he's talented. Let him develop. Put him in week 4, week 5. Let him play out the season. And if I were the Bears, I wouldn't even be worrying about wins and losses here. That is not the point of this season. The point of this season is, do we have our franchise quarterback? Have we developed him correctly? Is he confident? Is he ready next year to be the number one guy to lead us to a playoff appearance? That's the goal for this upcoming season. If anybody tells you otherwise, if anybody says Fields starts game 1, have to make the playoffs, everybody's on the line, they're wrong and they're fooling you. The true goal of 2021 is development. Retooling, as they say in baseball. That's what it is. You need to evaluate your team. Everybody, not just Fields. Because come next year, when Fields is the starter, you have to surround him with the right guys. This is a big year for Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Justin Fields, David Montgomery, the defense, offensive line. This is the year in which you see who's good, who's bad, who should be here, who shouldn't. It's a year of development, not a year of rushing timelines, instant gratification, and screwing up everything, even though you made some sensible moves. Not the time to do that. Really not the time. I know everybody wants Justin Fields. But if you wait till week 4, week 8, week 12, you play him, you let him get used to the flow of the game. The year after, he'll be ready. Goodbye, Andy Dalton. And the team will be ready for a legitimate playoff appearance. You all have to expect and accept an okay season. The problem is everybody's expecting now playoffs and Super Bowl right away. It doesn't work that way. If you really cared about Fields, if you really cared about this team and their long-term success, you'd know what the answer is as to week 1, week 2, week 3. So when people tell me you're hating on Fields, you don't like the Bears, you don't have their best interests in mind, no, I do. You don't. This is selfless, not selfish. By sitting him, he develops. No rush. There is no rush. Pace and Nagy aren't going anywhere, and we all know that now. They've at least been given 2-year extensions, maybe 3. They're in no rush. Their jobs are on the line. Justin Fields and his career is on the line here. Let's do this sensibly. So when Matt Nagy comes out and says, there is no way Fields starts game 1, that should be applauded, not torn down. I have not always seen eye to eye with Matt Nagy. But I do appreciate his effort at finally trying to do something correctly. Finally. It's taken 4 or 5 years, but finally, he understands what he needs to do. You will all regret it if Fields is rushed. Believe me, you will. And I know you say, well, he has the talent to overcome everything. Sure he does. It still doesn't mean you throw him to the fire. What's the big issue in waiting, developing him, having him get used to the offense, used to the team, used to the pace of playing the NFL? then putting him in? Why does it have to be week 1 when he may not be ready? Or even if he is ready, why does it have to be right away? The Bears aren't going to go anywhere this year. Probably a 500 team. That's what Vegas says. I believe that too. Probably 8-9, 9-8, maybe 10-7. Great. That's how it should be. They aren't here contending for a Super Bowl. Not yet. Maybe next year, year after. Not right now. So we have to think about that, and we can't be acting like just because Fields was drafted, it's time to think Super Bowl today. No. You have to be sensible. It does not behoove anybody. It doesn't help anybody to have Fields be playing that early. You might think it does, and that's great. But long term for the Bears' future, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You're the one who doesn't believe in him, not me. I do believe in him. I believe he could be the next quarterback for 15 years. If you break him too early, though, guess what? Won't work. So when I continuously see people, media, fans, say, put him in week 1. If you don't support him going in week 1, you're a hater and you think he's a bust. Never said that. The truth of the matter is, if you wait, he'll be better long term. We all want instant gratification. We want it now. We can't wait. But patience is a virtue. If you wait for him till week 4, week 5, if you coddle him, put him in baby steps, it'll be better off for everybody. I've said this before in the program, quarterbacks are a big deal now. They make or break what you do. This isn't 2003. We won't see a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer and Rich Gannon. You need to have a superstar quarterback if you want to go anywhere. So when you invest in a draft pick, when you move up to get somebody, there's no incentive to rush him, to hurt him, to break him. The Bears already screwed up with Mitch Trubisky. Why do it again to Justin Fields? I know he's more talented, but the psychological aspect, the adjustment to this game, still apparent. You don't want to rush him. And you don't have to. Again, the luxury of Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. I would really sit him and give Fields a chance to learn behind these two guys. Really give them that opportunity. I think it'd be great. I know everybody's in an uproar. I know everybody wants the one big thing and wants it now. But trust me, if you wait, you'll be happy. If you wait, if you trust this process, you'll be happy. There is no need to put him in when you have Andy Dalton. To start, at least. Andy Dalton is not horrible. He could play for you for a couple of games, maybe play 500 football, then you put in Fields. I never understood, I still don't understand the concept of throwing him to the Wolves week 1. And those of you who say it's to make him grow, he has to succeed, he's done it before, you don't understand that the NFL is really a different animal. I don't think you do. You think because he played in the Big Ten, it just automatically means he's going to do great here. He'll transition super well to the NFL. Not the case. Come on, how many quarterbacks have we seen not make the transition but go to big schools and do big things? Ryan Leaf, Matt Leinart, Jamarcus Russell, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Tua. It's not worth it. Let him develop. Nurture him. Teach him to become a great quarterback. And if you do that, I guarantee you, he'll do well. But if you rush him, if you put undue pressure on him when he doesn't even need it, nor should experience it, that's where your problem's going to lie. I know he's mentally tough, but the fact of the matter is you don't have to play him yet. You don't have to. You may want to, but you don't have to. It's not a necessity. The Bears are not the New York Jets. The Jets are going to throw Zach Wilson out there week 1 to the Wolves with no weapons, no offensive line, and what do you think's going to happen? Won't work. He'll be broken right away and be done. I'm not saying the Bears don't have any talent, but just why do it? What's the incentive to putting Fields in week 1? I mean, the possible upside would be a playoff appearance. But why do you need a playoff appearance right now versus the year after when Fields is more developed, more ready, no quarterback competition, better team? Then you could shoot for Super Bowl, not just playoffs. Like a stock, same idea. When you invest in a mutual fund, you do it for the sake of being ready for retirement. You do it so you know in 30 years, I'll be fine. It's the same idea here. Putting in Fields week 1 could be instant gratification, like investing in Bitcoin. Bitcoin was high, now it's dropped. Versus waiting, it's investing in a mutual fund. You know over time, you're going to be fine. Don't need to worry about it. So I hope the Bears play this correctly. It seems like they will. My real hope is that fans and media alike can accept this. If you want the best for the Chicago Bears, if you're a fan and you really, truly care about this team, then you know what the answer is when it comes to who starts week 1. You may not want to admit it. You may not like it. It may not serve your instant gratification. But trust me when I say that if you wait, you'll be better off. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Dave Richard comes up next. So stay tuned.